So, when you hear the word Afghanistan, what's the first image that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably one single persistent story. But today, we're going to peel back that familiar narrative and really dig into the layers of history, beauty, and resilience that are so often hidden from view. Yeah, that single story of conflict has cast a really long shadow for decades. It's the image of a place caught in the crossfire of history, often called the graveyard of empires. And look, while that story definitely has power, it is far from the complete picture.
And that's the question at the very heart of this explainer. What if, beneath all the dust of conflict, we find these shimmering blue mosques, sapphire lakes nestled way up in the clouds, and an incredible spirit that has survived for centuries? So, our journey is going to start with the monuments that really anchor the country's spirit. These are places where faith has been literally etched into stone and tile, defying not only the passage of time, but the turmoil of history itself.
Okay, first up, in the city of Mazar-e-Sharif, you have the stunning Blue Mosque. But what's truly remarkable about this place isn't just the incredible architecture. It's the living, breathing role it plays in Afghan culture. This is the heart of the Persian New Year, drawing absolutely massive crowds. It's a powerful symbol of faith and identity, and it has stood firm through generations of change. Now, we're going to go from a living, breathing monument to a ghost of a lost city, the Minaret of Jam. This is so much more than just a tower. It's all that's left of the legendary Turquoise Mountain, a city so thoroughly annihilated by Genghis Khan's army that it basically vanished from history. The fact that this one slender tower still pierces the sky in a super remote valley is just a staggering testament to the hands that built it. But you know, Afghanistan's wonders aren't only carved by human hands. Now we're turning to nature's own artistry, to landscapes so breathtaking they seem like they belong to another world entirely, defying every single stereotype you might have. Just try to imagine yourself nearly 3,000 meters high, in the crisp, thin air of the Central Highlands. This is Band Amir. This extreme altitude has basically been its guardian, preserving a pristine, almost otherworldly environment that led to it becoming the country's first national park back in 2009. And here's what makes this park so incredibly special: a chain of 6 brilliant blue lakes. And these aren't man-made, they were formed by natural dams of mineral deposits, where the water itself slowly built these barriers over thousands of years. The result is this stunning contrast of deep, sapphire blue water against these pale, dramatic cliffs. By 2023, this place was attracting over 100,000 visitors a year, a powerful symbol of natural wonder in a land that's so often misunderstood. All right, let's shift gears. Now we're going to delve into a different kind of history, one that's told not just by what's still standing, but by what has fallen. We're exploring places where the empty spaces and the echoes of the past, well, they speak just as loudly as any monument. The Buddhas of Bamyan are maybe the most painful example of this. I mean, for 1,500 years, these colossal statues, carved directly from the living rock, watched over a bustling hub on the Silk Road. Their destruction in 2001 sent these shockwaves of grief all around the world. But as we're about to see, the story didn't end in that dust and rubble. This quote just nails it. The empty niches, once filled with these serene figures, they actually revealed something new. Layers upon layers of history. Archaeologists uncovered hidden cave paintings, some of the oldest oil paintings in the world, by the way, and networks of chambers, telling a story not just of destruction, but of the deep, rich history of this valley as a crossroads of empires and ideas. And the history in this valley, it runs deep, and it's stained with tragedy. Nearby, you have the City of Screams. It earned that name when it was razed by the Mongols centuries before the Buddhists fell. It's been left as a raw, unrestored ruin, a memorial where they say the wind itself carries the echoes of that day through its shattered alleys, a chilling physical warning from a distant past. So these stories of destruction and preservation from the past, they bring us to a really pressing modern dilemma. A new kind of conflict is brewing, one that forces a difficult question about progress, about heritage, and about the price of uncovering treasures that lie buried just beneath the surface. And that brings us to Mes Aynak, where the past and the future are on a collision course. Here, one of the world's largest copper deposits lies directly beneath a vast, unexcavated Buddhist city from the height of the Silk Road. A multi-billion-dollar mining contract is hanging in the balance, threatening to erase this entire chapter of history before it can even be read.
It's this heart-wrenching race against time, pitting immense economic potential against priceless, irreplaceable cultural heritage. Finally, let's turn to the most powerful force of all, the human spirit. We're going to explore the resilience that's etched into the very fabric of the cities, valleys, and people who have not just survived, but have learned to endure, to rebuild, and to remember, time and time again. Kabul itself is a city of countless layers, and the Darul Aman Palace is its perfect metaphor. It was built as a symbol of a modern, forward-looking nation, but then it was gutted by fire, shelled during the Civil War, and left as this hollowed-out ruin for decades. Now, it's restored. Its fresh plaster covers walls that still bear the scars of that violent past. And that's the story of Kabul, a city locked in a constant, heartbreaking, yet somehow hopeful cycle of destruction and rebirth. At the far eastern edge of the country lies the Wakhan Corridor, and it looks like a geographic anomaly on a map. And in a way it is. This long, narrow finger of land wasn't carved by a river. It was literally drawn on a map by empires trying to create a buffer zone between them. The great irony is that this creation of imperial rivalry has become one of Afghanistan's most isolated, traditional, and peaceful regions, a place that seems almost untouched by the conflicts that have raged everywhere else. And in the Panjshir Valley, the land itself becomes the monument. Its treacherously narrow passes and towering, sheer cliffs create a natural fortress, a legendary stronghold that has repelled invaders from the Soviets to the Taliban. Here, history wasn't just made on the land, it was forged by the land. Its unforgiving terrain became the ultimate defender of its people. So as we've seen, the true story of Afghanistan isn't the one that's shouted from the headlines. It's a quieter narrative, a whisper you find in the intricate tilework of a mosque, in the silent gaze of an empty niche, and in the wind sweeping through a mountain pass. It's a story that's just waiting for those of us who are willing to pause, to look a little closer, and to really listen. The key takeaway, then, is really this. Afghanistan is not a single story. It's a complex tapestry, woven from threads of ancient art, unshakable faith, and a profound, stubborn resilience. It's a land of countless layers, each one challenging us to look beyond the surface. And that leaves us with a final, crucial question. History always leaves traces, kind of like fingerprints at a scene. This whole journey through Afghanistan should make us all ask, what other complex stories are hiding in plain sight, in the places we think we already know?